Hey, awesome souls. Welcome to the Head Guy Podcast. I'm Stefan Lindberg-Jones, your guide to all things awesome. Today's treat, Danial Kaabi, CEO of Sea Horizons Offshore Marine Services, is in the house, shaking up the Middle East business scene. Dive into the Middle East business vibe with Danial, exploring the power of patience in managing expectations across cultures. Danial's journey is a roller coaster, from Iranian roots to Canadian dreams, rocking a comfy meets formal style. Ever pondered about having identical suits for different occasions? Danial spills the tea. Stay for this enlightening chat, and who knows, Danial might drop more gems in a future episode. Stick around, buckle up, and let's dive into this fantastic journey together. So Danial, thank you for coming back on the show.
Thank you. I understand my first time was boring, but the second time...
It wasn't boring. It was just that, it was a different setup.
Mm-hmm.
You were great.
No, thank you. This setup's really good. I'm enjoying the relaxed environment as opposed to sitting on those chairs and...
Well, it was all right. I just didn't like the wide shot where, you could see everything with the mirrors and stuff like that. Although that sounds a bit weird when we talk about the mirrors.
Yeah.
I meeting you now 2 or 3 times. I find you very relaxed, very chilled. Mm-hmm. So I just want to, start off by, how does that help you when you're doing business here in the Middle East?
Patience. So it's funny because you say that. A lot of people always tell me that there's no matter what situation, there's some relaxing element out of you, which is also funny because then I have moments where it's not so relaxing and chilled.
Well, I was going to say, are there moments? Is there a Jekyll and Hyde kind of?
It shocks people in the sense of like we'll come out of nowhere, but that comes with the problem of a lot of people I think have is you build it up, it builds up, and you bottle it in, and then you just explode. But then you explode at the smallest thing, where everyone's just like, okay, now you're overreacting.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, very little. I think over the past year it happened once. But yeah, I think having the patience, and for me, understanding how business is done in the Middle East, that it's not done like in North America or Europe where it's go, 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 go. You do have to have patience. You do have to take everything at face value. It's a lot simpler to manage expectations. So, for example, if we sit here and we have the meeting and you say, okay, this is going to happen tomorrow and I'm going to get it to you, I know you're not going to get it to me tomorrow.
But why is it said that way, though? Why, when you know, and probably the person saying knows that it won't be...
I don't know. I think it's more so like a lot of what people don't realize is there's so many structures and so many layers in businesses. So me and you can have this conversation. You can say it happens tomorrow. But then you go to your supporting team and they're like, well, no, we have to look at this. We have to look at that. Then all these things. So I understand the layers. It's funny. I have a business partner in Dubai that he's very used to growing up in a family-style business. So, in family-style businesses, things happen quickly. We make the decision now, it's happening. But in a lot of corporate structures, decisions take 2-3 weeks to be made. And especially here, right? Because a lot of big corporate companies have headquarters in America or Europe, and then you got to contact them. Then they got to contact their team. So it's, yeah. But I think to manage expectations allows you to be chilled, relaxed, comfortable.
But when you're planning, for you in particular with regards to delivery for ships or anything like that, when you're planning it, do you allow that? Where do you put that in your planning stage?
I don't deal with that part.
Okay.
Because then I'll become overly anxious.
Yeah.
I have... my general manager in Qatar, it's funny because then when I do deal with it, I'm just like messaging him every second, where's the ship now? And he's like, it hasn't left yet. I'm like, no. but where is it? You should know. This is one thing you should always know. But yeah, it's I let them do that because it makes me overly anxious.
But that makes you overly anxious. But then if you've got the client who you're delivering to on your back, and then you find yourself in the middle, how do you deal with that?
I mean, in some situations, this sounds horrible, but you just have to learn to look at the facts. Like, for example, we had a situation where a complete human error on our part. We had a vessel going to Saudi Arabia, and the vessel was about to leave, and our technical management it was miscommunication. We thought the client was going to arrange the visas. We thought we were going to arrange the visas. Then the vessel stops and they go, "Where's our visa?" I'm like, "Oh no, we're already 2 weeks late on this mobilization." And I'm like standing on the berth, just watching the vessel just slowly come back. "Where's the visa?" And I'm like, "Oh no." So I have to call the client. But at that point, it's like, nothing you can tell me as the client is going to make the visa get done faster. So coming to terms with that, maybe. I remember calling him, and he was shocked. He thought I was joking. He's like, "How, you're funny." I'm like, "No, I'm serious. We got to wait a couple of days for the visa." And then, they always say, "Okay, well, we're going to find another ship." I'm like, "No, you're not," because they have to wait a couple of days for the
No,
visa.
exactly. So you get that pushback to say, well,
yeah, let's just be honest. There's nothing we can do here that's going to make things faster. We can try, but it's Saturday. No visa office is open. Yeah. So you get it from being relaxed and these occurrences. Also,
well, I'm just curious. Sorry to stop you. I'm just curious. When you do explode, are you aware of it? Are you in control, or you just let it come out?
There's a giant apology party that goes after.
Right. So the format.
Because right after, and it's funny because I'll say one point that this happened, which is a specific point that I was thinking about. It was just a frustrating day. It was a frustrating month, and we're in a meeting and we were talking about a tender submission that we were doing for Qatari Energy, and my operations director and the general manager were just bickering about who stays later in the office.
Okay.
One wants to leave at 4. The other one says, "I stay till like 9 p.m. Well, you have no life. He knows that. So I'm not. But they were bickering, and I was like, "Guys, stop." And they kept bickering, and that's when I just exploded.
All right.
And then I left the room, and I was like, no, but I need to be in that room to actually go through the submission. And I'm like, but I can't go back in there after that. So I'm just going to sit in my office for a couple of minutes. And then they came to me like, "We're sorry." I'm like, "It's okay. Let's just go through it."
Yeah.
And I bought them lunch the next day. So
No, okay.
that's an apology. So that's when the apology tour happens. But yeah.
All right. Look, we've got to go over the story again of how you ended up in the region, etc. So just go back to your childhood, where you're from, growing up, your experiences.
Okay. Well, yeah, of course, we have to get it all out of there. So I grew up in Canada, Toronto, Ontario.
Were you born there?
No, I was born in Iran. So I was born in Iran during the Iran-Iraq War. But obviously, like being born in Iran during the Iran-Iraq War, my family said, "We're out of here.
Yeah.
It's dangerous." Because I was born actually there right when the border happened. So my family's from Ahwaz, which is the Arabic part of Iran. So we were right in the middle of it. So we moved to Canada right away. That was seemingly the trend, where all the Iranians would move to Canada during this time.
Yeah.
Canada or UK.
Yeah. Oh, really? And how old were you when your parents?
3 years old.
Oh, okay.
So
you can't remember anything?
No. I just remember mostly growing up in Toronto.
And what was that like?
It was very good. Cold. but
Well, when you say cold, because you came in here and said, "Oh, I'm
minus
glad you've got the AC on."
Yeah.
AC's
everyone tells me, they're like, "Oh, you're Canadian. You should be used to the cold." I'm
Yeah.
like, no, but the AC here in these. Well, I'm glad you have it on here, but
Yeah.
outside of today's situation, some of the AC here, it's very cold. And
Oh yeah, some places
even winters in Qatar, they get cold,
they do.
right?
Yeah.
You're from Denmark, right?
No, I'm from the UK.
I am so sorry. You're from UK.
My mom's Swedish, but yeah.
But it's cold in the UK. It's cold, but here in the winter, it's a different type of cold.
It is a different type of cold, but you try to explain that to anyone else outside, they go, "Well, what's the temperature?" Well, it's about 18.
It's a different
18? But it's a different 18.
Yeah,
It's like there's a wind that's colder.
exactly. So
Yeah. So when you're talking about cold, what did you say that
minus 20. Minus 20.
And you go out
So-
when it's minus 20?
I told you it's a different cold. It's a different cold. It's yes, no, maybe. We used to go out when you're a kid. You go out because
Yeah.
it's fun. You play in the snow. You do all that. But growing up, then you realize like, no, this is way too cold. My face is red.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. I had a lot of friends that were actually skiing, which
You didn't take up
once
skiing?
in my life.
Okay. That sounds that something happened that once in your life.
So I didn't know you have to do this when you ski. I went straight down,
Oh.
and I tried to stop my. So my best friend at the time, he got me a gift card for my birthday, and the gift card was skiing with his family,
Mm-hmm.
which he thought was an amazing gift. And I was like, okay, well, let's go skiing
Oh, you didn't tell him that you.
with your family. He knew.
No, he knew that you had
I
never
had
been.
no
Okay.
idea how to ski, but he's like,
It'll be fine.
it will be fun.
Yeah.
And now he's actually like a professional skier. Well, I don't know about now, but like as of 5 years ago. So for him, that's fun. So he took me, and I was like, and they said go. I'm like, okay. And then I just went straight down.
Cool.
I tried to use the pole to stop me, missed the pole, went over the jump, and just rolled down the rest of the way. Nothing broken, thank God.
No. That's good.
But spent the rest of the time drinking hot chocolate in the chalet and watching them ski. But surprisingly, growing up in Canada, I did start. My first thing I ever did was I played roller hockey. I wanted to play ice hockey, but I didn't know how to skate. Rollerblading was a lot easier.
Okay.
Um,
Hold on. Rollerblading.
yeah.
Isn't
So-
that similar to ice skating anyway? You're still on a. Like
but the
three-
brakes, you just put your foot back and then you brake. But
Right.
ice hockey, you have to like
You gotta
do
dig into the.
You gotta dig in, and so when I did play ice hockey, I would just throw myself against the boards to stop. Which the coach was like, I can't have that
No.
because
That's not gonna.
you just waste so much time getting back
Yeah.
up. So I played roller hockey, and I was a very big hockey fan. That was my first sport I ever actually liked.
And is there a big league in roller hockey over there?
No,
Oh, okay.
I played house league roller hockey, which was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that, and then I realized that I'm not made for hockey when I got cut from the ice hockey team in grade 7. And in true quitting fashion, I said, okay, it's not for me, because I got cut. Usually you hear the story.
Yeah. It shows. When I have this conversation with the kids, because it's funny. My son hasn't been picked for the volleyball team. My daughter hasn't been picked for the football team or soccer team, and I say to them, well, obviously you weren't good enough. You need to try harder.
Yeah.
You need to keep practicing. You can't just expect to turn up and be selected. You don't know who you're against, etc. So you just got to keep going. You got to keep trying harder, not quit and just forget it.
I quit. And then I made friends on the basketball team, and they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, basketball's fun. I did not get cut from that team.
Oh,
Yeah, I was tall when I was younger
okay.
compared to the others, so they're like, okay, we
Yeah.
need you.
Okay. Height is.
I just never grew after that, I guess.
Okay.
Because I didn't grow tall enough. But But yeah, so I played basketball for the rest of middle school to high school.
And it's interesting, you're focusing on sports. So why, was that important for you growing up?
Yeah, I loved sports. It was, all my friends like sports, so I was just never very, very good at any sport.
Yeah. What about academics? Were you...
I like math.
Okay.
Math was my favorite subject, and geography.
Oh.
I was blessed to travel more than most in family, so I knew, like, the geography you learn in middle school is more about countries and populations and stuff. So I traveled a lot at a younger age with the family, so I could see, okay, I know this country, this is that, this is the famous monument in that country, whatever.
So with that in mind, did you think you would, in your profession, did you see yourself traveling abroad? Or, how, I don't know what it's like to be in a family that, has to leave their own country to live in another country. Is there always talk of moving back, or is there always talk like, did you think Canada was your home and that's where you were going to settle and work? Or did you always feel that there was always a yearning to either move back or to, live in this region like you're doing?
If you asked me in high school and university, I would tell you that I want to spend the rest of my life in Canada.
Okay.
But I always knew, because my dad did not move to Canada with us, he moved to Dubai. I always knew that at some point, I have to spend time in Dubai.
With your dad or with the business dad? How was that?
At the time, the plan was, all right, everyone's going to finish school, and they're all going to move back to Dubai. We're done Canada.
Okay, yeah, done the job, done the education. We moved back to...
Exactly. You got your good education. You got the healthcare. You got the experience of North America. Now you move to Dubai. So that was always the plan, that I actually fought against majority of my early life going into university. Sports.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't athletic enough, so I wanted to be a sports agent because I could still be involved in sports and not do any running. So
let everyone else run. I'll sit there.
I'll make the money.
Absolutely.
You run.
And that ties in nicely with your maths, figures, stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly.
So you got the best of both worlds. Yeah,
of course. So I did want to be a sports agent really badly. I did this studying. I almost did the test to become a sports agent for the National Basketball Association, but this was later on. And even I had a mentor, God bless his soul, that was a sports agent. So he actually did a yearly trip with all the athletes he represented, and he took me.
Oh, wow.
And my mom's like, "You're too young, I'm coming."
Yeah.
She wanted to go to Bahamas.
So I was saying, it was nothing about your age. She just knew where you were going, and I want a piece of that.
Yeah, me and my mom and my brother went to the Bahamas, and I was telling everyone, I'm like, it was like this 16-year-old kid. I'm like, I'm gonna be a sports agent.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
Look
just
at
wait.
this, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, well, we'll see you soon, and they haven't seen me since. So
Okay. So what happened?
Well, my brother that year tried the family business. So he's older than me.
Okay.
He's about 8 years older. And he tried the family business. And I was just like, okay, great. This is my opening. I'm going straight for sports agent. And he hated it. Not 1 ounce of him liked anything to do with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's his ambition was always restaurant owner, because my brother's education is very interesting because he has a culinary degree, an IT degree, and a business management degree. So it was very, tried to do a lot. And then,
Although I can see that, these days it'd be quite handy to have all those.
oh yeah.
Culinary, IT, and business management.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
So how's he doing?
well, now he has his own restaurant
Okay. Where?
in Toronto.
Okay, so he moved back. So he...
Oh yeah, after 1 year, he's like, enough is enough. I'm out. I'm leaving. I want to go back.
It's just like listening to the Crown. It's just,
Yeah.
The king doesn't want to take the throne, So it's next to it's...
Yeah, and I remember being in our apartment in Dubai, and my dad and him fighting, and I was I think grade 12, going into no, first year university had just finished, I remember, and they were fighting back and forth, and my dad's like, "What am I supposed to do if you leave?"
And were you in the room at the time?
And
then they were just...
looking at me, and my dad made the irrational decision. He's like, "Okay, you're not going to school if you're coming." And I was like, "But I just applied for second year university." He's like, "Nope, we're going to figure this out." Then they had the whole argument with my mom about school.
Oh, so your mum was on the education.
Yeah,
she'd come home.
My mom was always the one that's like, "I need the comfort that you're going to figure it out, that you are going to do your schooling, and you're not going to be just that guy that just came into a family business."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, I get it." But didn't listen to her. So I went and did a whole year with my dad
Oh,
at around 18 in Dubai.
just a year. We did that.
Yeah. But then after that, I started liking it. So at first I really didn't like the business. I started liking it because as a family business, you get involved in so many of the aspects in order to figure out. My dad was a chief engineer, so he always wanted me on the technical side. I hated the technical side because I'm not very technical, but I liked the commercial side, the negotiation, discussions.
Well, especially if you wanted to be a sports agent, you had that kind of thinking skills, communication skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going back to school because my mom was like, "No, this is what you're gonna do."
Yeah.
Finished.
And that was what were you studying?
Economics.
Okay.
I studied economics because I figured that first I started marketing, but I was like, maybe economics is better because then you can. After the 1 year, I switched to economics because I was like, it's more tangible. But I took my time because I knew that I was gonna. As soon as school is done, I'm back in Dubai, and when you're young, you're like, "Oh, it's always gonna be." So that's a job that's always there. So I'm just enjoying my time in Canada. It took me, I think, 6 years.
Oh wow!
To finish.
And it should have only taken you like 4?
3 years left in the degree. Double. Didn't do any summer school because in summer I would come to Dubai. And then the moment I finished, I did my last exam, and I woke up. My dad's like, "All right, here's your ticket." I'm like, "It's only one way." He's like, "Yeah, you're leaving tomorrow, so say goodbye to your friends now." I'm like, "Okay."
Wow.
Got up and came to Dubai. Went to Dubai. Yeah.
But you enjoyed the year that you were in Dubai, so
Yeah.
you probably did. You feel that you had done what you needed to do in Canada to then, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as dramatic as I just explained it in the sense of, okay, I'm leaving for good. It was exciting. It was exciting. I think I did everything I needed to do in Canada, to get up and leave and start the business and start an adult life, right?
Well, that was going to be my next question. When you were studying, what would be your attire? What would you wear? Because you're very smartly dressed, and you've got a certain style about you, and this looks like there's been some thought. I like the stripy socks. It's got a hint of yellow. So then the tie, you got the.
It's funny you say that because I was speaking at a conference in Saudi Arabia, and my socks, these are actually quite calm. I purposely wear the loudest socks.
I'm the same. I like, I have orange socks, and I always look for the loudest socks. Yeah.
And I was at the end of the conference, at the end of my speaking, someone came up to me. He said, "Great job, but the socks." And that was on purpose. I caught your attention. You should look up here, not there.
What, did he like the socks or did he
No,
not?
he didn't like it.
Ah,
He said
come
they were
on.
too flashy. I'm like, well,
No.
you were listening to this and not. And so I wasn't doing a great job because we were listening.
No, exactly. His mind wandered and just focused on your sock.
Exactly. But
So yeah, tire.
and what's funny is, and my wife always makes fun of me because she's like, you put no effort in getting dressed. I'm like, it's because I do it in the morning. Because when we go out for dinner, you'll see me in jeans and a t-shirt. And she's very into fashion, so she will like wear fashionable everything, and I just show up with jeans and a t-shirt. And she's like, "No, you have to put effort so we can be together and take pictures for Instagram and stuff." I'm like, "No, it's okay." But in university, sweatpants and hoodie. I wanted to fit into the university. I had the mentality of I don't need to dress up because I'm here for school and not anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to be comfortable. So you'll either get one or the other from me. It's never anything in between. It's either a suit, and as soon as I get out of my suit, here it's funny because I only have suits and gym clothes. So I have nothing in between, which was horrible because last night I came home, I got out of the suit, I put on my gym clothes to just relax, and my friend called me and he's like, "Hey, let's go for dinner."
So what are you
I gotta put this suit back on. so yeah, and the suit is a lot from my dad because he always wears a suit, and he always told me, and I try to do this in the company, that he's like, because he would, when I first showed up to work, I'd be in like jeans and a polo, and he's like, "No, you have to wear a suit every single day." I'm like, "It's hot, it's 50 degrees." He's like, "No, but if people look at you differently and will talk to you differently and will act differently towards you if you're in a suit. They'll respect you."
Yeah.
I did it once. I'm like, "Oh, wow, everyone's talking to me." So ever since then, as uncomfortable as I am in a suit, I'll wear it. So, but except sometimes, we do Thursdays casual day in the office.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm just curious. Do you get it specially tailored? Is there a special place that you go to?
There is. It's not tailored. It's called Suit Supply. We have it in Dubai.
Okay.
European brand.
All right.
My favorite place.
Shoe Supply.
If they see this, they should sponsor.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Where in Dubai?
there's a bunch. There's one in the Mall of Emirates.
Okay.
It's a European brand. I love it. It's very fairly priced and
I think I might have been there. I think I bought a suit there. I think I bought a real bright blue suit.
It's great. When we're in Saudi Arabia, I tell in the office this all the time. Like, Suit Supply is great.
Yeah.
Showed up, and me, my COO, and my general manager, all three of us in the exact same suit.
No.
I'm like, "Okay, well, which one did you bring?" Like, this one. I'm like, "I have that one too." So yeah,
Oh, so you had to say,
it
okay.
looked like a legit uniform walking down the hall, which was funny.
So how many suits would you say you've got? Because as you said, it is hot at times, especially in the summer period. And if you're in a suit, do you, have you got plenty of suits to kind of go through before you have to, how do you, I'm always curious because I went to a tailor's actually and I made about 5 suits.
Oh, wow.
And I would, alternate them every day, and then I would take them to the dry cleaners maybe once a month. How?
For me, it's excuse me. The complication is because I now live both in Doha and Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
It's where do I put which suit, where the suit goes, because I don't like packing. So that's why I have an apartment here. Everything's ready. So if I need to go to Dubai to see the family, I get on the plane. I go. Now it's a lot easier with the flights.
No worries about the suitcase or anything. It's just hand luggage, straight on. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm very picky about some things. So like my toiletries, exactly the same here as there. So I brought a bunch over. So it's like that. So I try not to pack anything.
Yeah.
But I think over here I have 8 suits. Because sometimes I get lazy to do laundry and dry cleaning just in case one.
So you've got that over.
Yeah. And in Dubai I have, good question, I don't know, maybe 5.
Okay.
So not that many.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like it. I enjoy it. And then, it's good. It's nice to not have to think about what you're going to put on. So I know.
Yeah, you've got enough to worry about. When you open that cupboard door, it's just easy. You just take one off and,
And I only have plain white shirts and plain blue shirts.
Yeah.
Nothing in between. It's because white and blue, both of them will go with any color.
Yeah.
Right?
What about the socks and the tie? Is there a coordination there? I'm just curious.
This was not on purpose. So I actually had, and I'm glad that I didn't wear the other socks, because I did it, because last time we were there on the table, I didn't think that my socks were going to be shown today. Thank God. I actually had SpongeBob socks on this morning. And I was like,
what color were they? Were they yellow?
They were yellow.
With yellow. So he's yellow, but what was the background? Was that blue? Or?
It was like a darker yellow, and he's a brighter yellow.
Okay, yeah.
It was like that. And
so you do go to the loudest.
Oh, yeah. I have socks with anchors on them, everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to put this on because it goes with the yellow tie. And I was like, no, just not today. So I just switched. So thank God I switched, because everyone would
I would have loved that. No, I'm totally, into loud socks. And yeah, it would have amused me, but also I would have admired you for wearing the SpongeBob suit.
Exactly. No, but yeah, well, I'm personally glad. And then for the ties, I always tell people, I'm like, if you're going to buy me a gift for my birthday, Christmas, anything, my wife too, I'm like, just give me ties.
Okay.
Because I hate picking ties. I don't like...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're quite happy, whatever gift...
As a tie.
Even if it's a loud tie, or is there a limit?
I try not to do loud suits or loud ties, because of the nature of work. Like I said, in the marine industry, we have a lot of old school people that with older mentality. So
hence the socks.
It's just,
exactly.
Yeah,
no way.
With SpongeBob socks and a pink tie with flamingos on it. It might be.
You'll be giving off the wrong impression.
Exactly. So that's why I just plain ties. A lot of my ties are relatively the same. I have this tie actually in 7 different colors.
Okay.
The exact tie. So it's very easy. So waking up is very easy.
Yeah.
Wake up, suit, blue shirt, white shirt. Okay. 2 shoes, brown or black.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah. Cool. Off the suits and the ties, going into a family business, what was that like? What is that like? Isn't there a lot of expectations on your shoulders?
Yes.
That you're literally, you will be king one day. How was it for you?
It's funny because mostly you get groomed into it. I didn't.
Groomed?
Well, I mean, I got 1 year.
Well, I was going to say, and then I refer back to the crown. Your grooming is by not just the king, but also everyone around you.
Yeah.
So was that the case?
Well, yes. So I credit. He's a very good friend of mine now, Mohammed. He's a very, very close friend. So he grew up the same way as me. So when I first moved to Dubai, and I was telling my dad, I'm like, okay, so what's this? He's like, nobody taught me, so no one's going to teach you. I'm like,
oh, thanks, Dad.
This is it, like when you're taking revenge on when you were younger.
Yeah.
He's like, nobody taught me. How am I supposed to teach you this when nobody taught me? I learned myself, so learn yourself.
Oh, wow.
So Mohammed was kind of in the same situation as me. So
what? In the same situation? What? He was put into a family business. Okay.
He was next. His father had fallen ill. God bless his soul. So Mohammed had to take a very big role and really put that pressure on his shoulders.
Oh, really? So that was quite quick. If his dad. Okay.
Yeah, and he was already in the business though for 10 years.
Okay.
Before that.
Yeah.
So me and him I kind of used it as like we had a meeting and I used it as, oh, you're young. Let's be friends.
Was he the same age or was he?
He's 40 now. So yeah, he's about 8 years older than me.
Okay, so did you see him like an older brother giving you guidance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let's hang out. And he may have thought that we were just going to hang out as friends, but I was...
Oh, there was an ulterior motive.
He was my textbook. And then we became really close. Well, it was, for me, it was also rare to see someone this young in the industry. And I was more interested to get his perspective on it because in my mind, at the earlier years, I was forced into it, right? I grew up with a mindset of, I'm going to start my own thing and nobody's going to compare me to this family business because I hated the stigma of, okay, this is a family business. But I grew up with that weight on my shoulders of, no, I have to start my own thing. So seeing someone else involved, because in North America, you don't come across a lot of people that go through that. But in the Middle East, it's all about generational companies.
Yeah.
So seeing him, and on the other side, he has a brother named Ali, which my brother's name is Ali, who's in the restaurant business and quit the family.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
So we have a lot to relate
Absolutely.
to. And I always credit everything to him. I hate when I say it because now we're together as peers. but no, I tell him like, thank you for everything, because it was him, when you have stressful days that you have no idea what you're doing. And at nighttime, I would hang out with him, play cards, and he would like get me through that. He'd be like, oh, no, you should do this. This is what I went through, so we do that. So the next morning, I'd come back. I'm like, no, we have to do this. And then if it failed, I'd be like, why did you do that?
No, exactly. Yeah.
No, but...
And all your team are like, wow, how does he know that?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's been so supportive over the past 10 years, which is funny because we've never worked together. But we've always talked about it. But I think, now...
Maybe that's a good thing that you're able to keep that good relationship rather than get business involved.
No, of course. We've kept the relationship. But,
Yeah.
But now we might start in the near future. If he watches this, maybe he'll be convinced to.
No, there you go. Well, next time you're on, you can tell us what happens after this podcast.
Yeah. Mohammed did not work with me next time. No.
What is he thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's very good. Nice guy and great family.
So you used him to, get information. You're thrown in the deep end to kind of fend for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go, and how long did that take before you were ready to take the reins?
It's very interesting because I actually got thrown in, saw what was happening.
When you got thrown in, was it like a lot of people when they're learning about the family business, was it from bottom up or where?
When I was in that 1 year, yes.
When you came over just for that year?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then when I got thrown in, it was just like, because I'm like, are you going to come to Dubai? He's like, no, I'm done. I did all this because I wanted to be in Canada. No, my dad visited me ever since I moved to the Middle East for the first time in February of this year.
So when you arrived, he left?
He told me in Canada, here's your ticket, go.
No.
So he didn't even come from that moment. He didn't come to visit me until February.
Have you ever spoken to him about that? Any reason why? Did he just feel that?
He said he's like, listen, I've done this for 50 years. I want to spend time with your mom. And
wow.
The only reason he came is to see my daughter because, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He hadn't seen her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were really thrown in. So, all right, you arrive. So what? Your position is CEO straight away, and you're literally...
No, I was, he still called himself managing director. I was commercial and crewing manager because he thought that if he gave me that, then people would look at me differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I was cheeky after 6 months and got CEO business cards printed.
Oh, okay.
And
So you were confident.
yeah, I was like, well, I might as well, because it didn't look good that I was walking in to make big decisions as commercial and crewing manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, are you planning on coming? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well.
Okay, all right. I'll take the title.
So it was me and my uncle, which is unfortunately another, God bless his soul, he passed this year. He was very supportive of me when I first came in. So he was my dad's right hand, and he did everything for us. But unfortunately, due to his health, he had left. So that was another thing. So when I first came, it was me and my uncle, and his health was very poor.
Or even then?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was diabetic,
okay.
overweight, and it was unfortunate. So when I told him, just, you go with the family, go be in London. And
when did you say that?
that was 3 months in.
3 months in? Oh,
6
wow.
months, 6
Oh,
months,
wow.
6 months. And he went, and then I spent so much time trying to figure everything out. And he didn't come back for a while. I mean, didn't end up coming back at all. But, so then he leaves because, it was very hard. So I'm early 20s, and I had to go to the ICU because he'd call me. He's like, I'm sick. Call an ambulance for me. I call an ambulance.
Yeah, well,
So that pressure along with everything.
yeah.
So I wanted to do it for his health, in the sense of, hey, go be with your family, which is unfortunate now. We got the sad news earlier this year. But then he's gone, and I'm just sitting there, and everyone's looking at me. Like, we have to make decisions. Like, I remember there was arguments and fights where we had a ship that a big decision needed to be made on, are we going to spend money on fixing her, or are we just going to let her go? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do here.
Well,
But
that must have been you must have learned a lot about yourself.
yeah.
And in a very short time, of how to deal with your own stress, as well as, running the business and the pressure, decision making. Because I'm sure you made good and bad decisions. That's
Or bad.
Yeah, but we learn from them.
Not on purpose.
No, but
yeah.
no, exactly.
But yeah, no, of course. I mean, nobody can come into anything and not make mistakes.
No.
Right? It's no matter what situation, whatever new system you walk into, you will always make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you know what you're doing, mistakes happen, and you learn from them. They're lessons.
Yeah.
Right? So, a lot of mistakes were made, but lessons were learned, but again, I always want to start my own thing. I want to have my own little.
But but listening to you, why? Especially when Dad's disappeared back home with Mum, Uncle's gone to London. Literally, they've handed you the company on a plate, so it is yours to run. But you still felt the need that you wanted to do your own thing. Why? What?
Like I said, I think it's the whole chip on the shoulder, and also, unless you start something yourself, you're never going to be fully into it, right? For example, it's like, oh, okay, it's
as if you're doing someone else a favor.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just doing this. But like, when you start it yourself and it's yours, I feel like it's psychologically maybe a completely different thing. And then it's like when you take over a family business, it's like, okay, you're just maintaining what the previous generation did.
Yeah.
And okay, you can make it bigger, but it's because of the previous generation that it's there, so you make it bigger. But if you start fresh, I think the smaller milestones mean so much more.
Yeah. So what did you do? Did you dissolve the business, or is that still going?
The business is dissolved,
Right.
but just quickly transferred into my business. So in a way,
literally you've got the clients, you've got everything. So you literally took
yes,
everything from that business but how did that feel? Because now you're an entrepreneur, you're like literally doing your own startup in a way, although you've got
exactly.
you know.
Well, it's funny because when I was thinking about what I wanted to do. COVID was right around the corner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then COVID happened, so I started a company. Forget about shipping and forget about marine. I started a company with some friends in Canada where we traded commodities, which was a very big learning lesson. Where we traded gold from Africa into Dubai, which was very interesting. It was learned a lot. Learned a lot about the possibilities of different frauds and scams.
Really?
It was a roller coaster, but we had fun with it because I was like, if they're gonna just scam us, let's just have fun and you know make a story. But we made some good money, and then COVID happened. So just like everyone else in COVID, we decided to get in the medical trading business.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we opened
Huge demand.
We opened a company in Malaysia,
Okay.
and we were selling nitrile gloves to hospitals in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Okay.
which was doing great. COVID happened.
Yeah.
The factory that made the nitrile gloves, hospital approved. We partnered with. We had an American company that we did the transaction with, and the first 2 containers came. Everyone's happy. Then they did a big order, and we're like, let's go to Charlotte. I've never been to Charlotte. I want a vacation. COVID is easing now. We can travel. Let's go to Charlotte. We showed up to Charlotte with a big container order, and it was all fake gloves.
No.
And me and my business partner were sitting there, we're like, uh-oh. The guys, it wasn't fake gloves. Instead of nitrile gloves, it was latex gloves. And they messed up the packaging.
Oh, no.
But it is the most awkward room to be in because we went to dinner the night before. We showed up. The big containers came in the warehouse, and they opened.
Oh, no.
The outside packaging was the nitrile.
Yeah.
And they opened, and it's latex, and they all just start looking at us. We're like, well, we can fix this. Because they thought it was us.
Yeah.
We went through this whole ordeal. It's sorted now, but that's when I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to shipping. This is not working. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was.
So how did you sort it out? Did you?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Another-
to be honest, I sold that company, and that's not my problem anymore.
Okay.
So yes, just like my hockey dreams.
Yeah. All right, it's not working. Right, let's
Put
go
it
somewhere else.
aside. But and then when I finished that, I was like, you know, I know marine. I grew up in marine. My grandfather, my father, me. Let me create something in the maritime sector in this region that can actually blend the mentality of Europeans, North Americans, into the oil and gas and maritime sector in the Middle East. So that's where, Qatar came into place. You know, I always had a very big admiration for Qatar. When I moved to Dubai, my first friends were Qatari, right?
Oh, really?
It was very interesting. It was, when I first moved, I had a group of 10, 20 friends that were all Qatari.
And is that because you're fluent in Arabic?
No, I'm not actually, don't speak Arabic, and I should. Thank you. I was actually in the meeting yesterday, and everyone was like, how do you not speak Arabic? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to learn.
Are you?
Thanks.
Oh, there you go. That's the answer.
I've been watching Netflix shows that are in Arabic. It's exactly how I learned English. So
I've started, because I remember being in a meeting last year in the ministry, and they looked at me and go, you've been here for 16 years and you don't know Arabic? And it was just like, all right, there's no excuse really. I should try. So I've got Duolingo now, and I've started to, but I started their little journey. Have you ever been on Duolingo?
No.
Well, you go on this little journey, and there's points, certain subjects, etc., and I got to a point where it's just like, I don't know the actual letters, let alone remember the words. So then I've just gone back to the alphabet, and I'm just learning the alphabet over and over again.
Oh wow. Yeah. No. I should, especially because my whole family speaks Arabic.
Oh wow.
They're fluent.
So they didn't think it was important to talk Arabic in the house?
So they did, but I was against it. I said I don't need it. Why am I now realizing it's like the most important language in the world, and the Middle East especially?
Wow. And they allowed that. That's
well, my mom, she just gave up.
Okay.
'Cause my dad would have forced me, but
Yeah.
mom's just like, okay, if you don't want it, they don't want it. Because my family speaks Arabic, because like I said, we're from the Arab part
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Iran, which is why it's confusing, because my last name is Arab. My Kaabi is
So everyone who meets you thinks that.
and they
Yeah.
get confused. They're like Danial Kaabi. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
an English name, but an Arabic last name. And what's funny is, yesterday the guy's like, "You've been here for 2 years. You don't know Arabic?" I'm like, "Don't tell me about the 6 years I was in Dubai then."
Yeah. Wow, 2 years that they're expecting you to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So all my friends were Qatari, and I always wanted. I was visiting here in my first year in Dubai a lot. I'd visit them, and I enjoyed that Qatar it has so much oil and gas potential.
Mm.
You know, I was reading about it from then, just the potential of Qatar, and being a sports fan, Qatar hosting the World Cup,
Yeah.
always following what's going on in Qatar. So I'd always visit, and then right when I wanted to do it initially, the blockade happened.
So you wanted to set up a business here in Qatar?
Oh yeah, the very first trip I came to Qatar, I was like, I'm gonna start a maritime company, and everyone's like, no, you're not. And I was like, well, I will try my best.
Yeah.
Because we started fresh, and
Yeah.
going. So my ambition was always Qatar, and then the blockade happened.
So where were you when the blockade happened? Oh, the blockade,
Yeah,
not COVID. We're not at that.
No,
Not COVID.
oh yeah, well, we went back a little bit.
All right. So blockade. So you're in where? Dubai?
I was in Dubai with, I think, 8 Qatari guys.
Oh, wow.
And I was very naive to it, because I'm like, guys, it's not gonna last long.
Yeah, that's what I thought at the time.
It's gonna be a week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, it ran deeper than
yeah,
that. Yeah.
it went
and
a
longer.
lot deeper. But I'd catch up with my Qatari friends a lot in Hong Kong, New York. Whenever they'd be on vacation, I'm like, okay, I'm coming.
Okay.
We still kept the friendship, of course. I mean, it has a lot to do with them, of my development in Qatar.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
So when did you actually get the company?
January 3rd, 2022
Okay.
is when I opened.
So after blockade, after COVID.
Yeah.
So it was quite a long wait. So you're still running the family business during that time, plus your other little businesses, or when?
Well, no, I stopped. So that the wake up moment was the latex gloves, which in a lot of cases is for a lot of people. but I realized that I think I just want to go back to marine, and I want to see what's missing in the market and how I can create my own brand.
Mhm.
Where am I going to do it? Okay, so the blockade just ended. Let me go visit Qatar. Came on a flight, visited my friends, gave them the plan. I'm like, listen, this is what I want to do. So I was introduced to a lot of people, which is one thing that is amazing about Qatar. It's like, when you have an idea, it's very easy to present it to people. The access is, or maybe I'm just very lucky and blessed, but the access was very good. And my father had a longtime friend who's Qatari, and they were very close, and he always told me that he's the most genuine person I know. Go see his son. So I went to see his son, and I begged him. I was like, listen, be my partner, because he's genuine. He's very nice. He's very smart and business oriented. If you want to speak to my brother, he's got like 5 degrees. He's got like 2 masters, a law degree, an MBA, an engineering degree.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just go to school, don't you? He's like, yeah. And he kept saying no, because he appreciated the family bond, the friendship.
Yeah. Didn't want to get business involved.
Yeah, he was very. It's funny because he cared so much that, well, he cares so much that he's like, I don't think I'd be as good as you want me to be as a partner, which is very rare.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care. We'll figure it out. This is a process for both of us.
Yeah.
So that was August of 21. January, he finally registered the company. I'm like, okay.
Now, he gave in the end.
Yeah, he gave in. After many requests,
Yeah.
he gave in, which I'm very glad. I couldn't have asked for a better,
But
not
when he,
just Qatari partner, business partner as a whole.
but when he said no, what were you thinking? Were you looking at other alternatives? Or did you think, no, I'm going to stick it?
I was so blessed to meet so many alternatives,
Right.
but all of them, I don't know what it is. It's because at the end of the meetings, they're like, okay, let's do it. But I'm like, no, I want him.
Oh,
And
so
maybe
that
it's
was-
because he kept saying no
Yeah.
that I was like, no, you have to do it.
What was it? A gut feeling? You know?
No, it's I'm very
Logic.
pessimistic. So
Okay.
if me and you meet the first time and you're like, all right, let's do it right now. I'm like, wait, what does he know that I know? What's going on? How is he so easily
Yeah.
sold? So I was being very pessimistic. And with him, remember, every time I'd meet someone, that night I'd spend with him. So we'd go out to dinner, we'd go to his majlis, and we'd just talk. So he knew everything.
No, so he's that's feeling you out in a way, just saying,
Exactly.
okay.
He's listening, and we're talking, and he's giving advice.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if you're giving all this advice, just do it.
Yeah.
Just sign. He's like, no. I also think it was probably his game.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, playing it cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, it's great. He's very good, and even my dad's very happy because he's like, good.
Yeah.
You guys.
Well,
keep
if
the
he knew it,
friendship."
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So, all right. So you launch in January of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
It's very good. Like I said earlier before we started recording, I think myself, I made the mistake of assuming that things happen so fast. Even though I was used to in Dubai, Dubai things are slow as well, but in Qatar, building a reputation and doing business in Qatar is one of the most important things you can possibly do.
Mm.
Qatar itself it's very, very, very important. And I don't think a lot of people that come and quickly set up here realize that. It's the same thing about like my local partner. If it took us so long to get there. Why? Because we built a reputation,
Yeah.
built a relationship. It's a lot of people come here and go, okay, well, we're going to go in to this guy's majlis, let's say, and we're going to ask for this for our business, and right away he's going to give it.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't happen that way. And people need to understand it's once they get comfortable with you and they feel you as a person, then they'll be like that. So over here, I think what's most important to know is people want to do business with the person, not the company.
Mm.
And that's as a family business, that's what it is.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not, and as a startup now, we're not Apple. We're not, okay, we want to do it with the brand. No, it's with the person.
Mm.
It's because that person is respectful, takes care, and is committed, then we'll do business. And I think that's what Qatar is like. So for the first year, it was basically building up that, and we're seeing the results now because now instead of us going to people, they come to us. It's like, hey, we need this. Hey, can we do this?
Yeah.
So now I think we're at a point where we're ready. So we've already mobilized some assets into Qatar, which was great for us. It's something that we're way ahead of the 5-year plan. We're doing a lot of work for Qatar Energy. We're doing some consulting work with them, which I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but it's some good consulting work. I'm sure it's public knowledge anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting. It's exciting times, especially because of the North Field expansion, right?
So is Qatar your main focus at the moment?
We have one vessel in Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
working with Aramco, but I tried everything to bring her to Qatar, but Saudi wanted her more.
Yeah.
But yes, Qatar, this is just one matter, but Qatar is our 100% focus. So we are a Qatari company, which we like to be proud about. We emphasize on the fact that we are a Qatari company and our logo is Qatari flag colors.
Yeah.
So that's how committed we are. But yeah, our focus is Qatar.
Great. And does that fulfill you as a person, you know,
Yes.
moving into the future?
Yes.
Do you see yourself always being in shipping, or is there, you know, latex gloves and
No,
you know,
no.
ever again?
No more gloves.
No, but is there anything else?
I want to be, in the marine industry. I think I've figured it out. The pattern, the platform, and I'm very excited about the shipping industry in this region specifically. I enjoy being a voice for the Qatar maritime sector because it needs to be heard.
Yeah.
Right? It's we hear about the region a lot in Saudi Arabia and Dubai ports, Jebel Ali, but Qatar needs to be known because there's so much potential.
Yeah.
And we have the largest LNG expansion in the world.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. No, I'm not going to invite you back. No, I invite you back when you've got more info and you know, any development. So, but this has been better than the last one. So
Well, I hope it's comfortable. It's more comfortable.
no, well, this is it. I feel you opened up a little bit more, and you gave a little bit more information than you did last time. I think you were a little bit more. I don't know.
The coffee was good. That's why.
Oh well, maybe that was it. Maybe whatever we put in there helped. Thank you, Daniel. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
Yeah,
Very good.
and I wish you all the best. And yeah, until next time.
Excellent.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye. Hey, amazing people! This concludes our journey on the Head Guide podcast. Your ultimate fusion of Middle East vibes and success in both business and life. I'm Stefan Lindberg-Jones, your ever enthusiastic guide through all things awesome. The Head Guide podcast is your exclusive pass to CEO insights, cultural adventures, and the genuine lowdown on life in the Middle East. If you've enjoyed the ride, hit that subscribe button for the most fantastic ongoing adventure. Stay tuned for more awesomeness, more insights, and more success coming your way. Let's roll into the future of the Middle East journey together.